Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Sports Hub for the spring semester. I'm Michael Wengrzyn, and here today with me are Alex Strouf and Jackson Jirik. Guys, how was your first week of classes been?
So far so good, Mike. How about you?
It's been pretty good. I think it should be an interesting schedule. It's hopefully my last semester.
Yeah, you're almost done. You almost get to leave the nest. I'm like a proud bird father.
Aw.
How's it going for you?
It's going good.
Good.
We're surviving.
Yeah, it's going to be an ordeal, but we'll get through it. Unfortunately, on today's show, we begin on a somber note as the sports world was rocked by the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant yesterday in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna were on their way to a travel basketball game when the helicopter went down around 10 o'clock a.m. Along with Bryant and his daughter, there were 7 other passengers on board, with nobody surviving the crash. Guys, this is bigger than sports. Just talk about the impact that Kobe Bryant had both on and off the court.
I've been thinking for, I don't know, about the past 26 hours of how I was going to talk about this today, and I still don't know. Heartbreaking, devastating, gut-wrenching, earth-shattering. All fitting today. The sports world hasn't been rocked this hard in a really long time, if ever in my lifetime, where I've felt like this. 41 years old, his daughter Gigi only 13. I mean, it's hard to look at, man. It's hard to process. It's a really tough, going to be a really tough week in the sports world. But to answer your question on Kobe's impact, it's hard to quantify. I mean, we know Kobe, changed the game in so many ways. He changed people's outlook on the game, people's mentality on the game, and the Mamba mentality, obviously, that he developed and worked well with throughout the entirety of his career. It's really tragic was the word you used, Mike, and that's fitting. I mean, it's something that just reminds you once again how fragile life is, and it makes you want to hug those people you love a little bit tighter each day, because when something this horrible happens, it's really tough for everybody, for guys like us who have never met Kobe, but yet this is still incredibly earth-shattering, and it changes your outlook on things a little bit. So, I mean, we know Kobe was going to be a great advocate for years to come in women's sports, and it's too bad we won't be able to see the full effect he'll have. But 41 gone way too soon, and it's a really tough day in the world of sport.
Yeah, I mean, you hit everything right there, but in the non-sports world, what he did for his family, I mean, leaving behind 3 girls and the wife, that's horrible. And the other family that was involved there too, the parent and the daughter, teammate of Gianna, leaving 2 kids behind, that's horrible. There's really no good way to put it. I mean, like Mike or like Alex said, heart-wrenching. But off the court, he, like you said, he was an advocate for women's sports, believed in everybody, wanted people to be better. He was just that guy that you couldn't hate him. Even if you were the biggest rival, you couldn't hate the guy. I mean, born and raised in Philly, on the East Coast, played basketball his entire career in LA. He was all over the U.S., all over the world. And the guy what he did for everyone is just unreal. I mean, there's not enough words to say about how impactful he was to everyone. I mean, I was never a big basketball guy myself, but a guy like him going away, that's just hard to accept.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned it. Kobe wasn't just nationwide; he was global. He had an impact everywhere. And he was a true genius. I mean, outside of the world of sport, even. I mean, that guy was a true genius. He hung him up and then won an Oscar. I mean, the guy was really, really incredible, and it was sad because he was just getting started, and Gigi was obviously 13 years old. Man, that's heartbreaking. Yeah, it's hard.
It's with us in the sports media, or even just in the media in general, you never get trained on how to handle these kind of situations. Right. When something like this happens on a global scale, where the death of a well-known individual in the world of sports, or even just in the world, it's this is almost comparable to like when Princess Diana died in 1997. Just the global outscale that she had as an individual. Kobe Bryant, may not have been, anything. He was royalty in the sense of basketball, but this kind of event, you'd never want to happen to anybody, especially to a man like Kobe. Did so much for the game, did so much for his family. It's sad because he's leaving behind a wife and 3 girls, one of which who was just born this past summer. So,
Yep. 2 of them will never know their dad.
Exactly. So, but the legacy that he had in the game will forever live on, no doubt about that. And the saddest part about this too is that his career point total was just surpassed by LeBron James, who plays in all places Los Angeles, and it was literally the night before the accident happened. So, can't think of any other impeccable timing like that, to have something like that, and his final tweet even just reaching out to LeBron James and saying, "Congratulations, man, keep up the good work." It's gonna live on forever, and also just the amount of teams too yesterday taking the 24-second, shot clock violations and the 8-second violations as well. I can't imagine how difficult it was for those players to go on that court yesterday. I don't think anybody would have been disappointed if the NBA decided to cancel all their games yesterday.
Yeah, I look at it the same way as you do, Mike. I don't know. I mean, Kyrie Irving took the personal day. He was the one big one that ended up not playing on Sunday. But what everybody says is Kobe would have wanted them to go out there and ball. And I like the outlook on that, but I agree. I would not have been disappointed if they said no. Let's make this an 81-game season. It's tough, and yeah, I mean, you brought up that last tweet to LeBron, almost poetic that is the final chapter of Kobe Bryant, and as unfortunate and weird it is to say that, I still can't accept it. It's really different. It's the last time I remember a death at this scale, at least in my lifetime, where everybody was affected in some capacity by this, was a guy like Robin Williams, Michael Jackson, Prince, where everybody was a little bit shaken because everybody knew Kobe Bryant because he was that big.
2 things. I think yesterday the guys that stood out to me were Trae Young, a really good friend of Kobe, and his daughter Gigi. I know Gigi looked up to Trae, and Devin Booker. Both those guys combined for 81 points. Trae Young, the only player since Kobe did it to shoot under 25 shots. He shot 24. He had a triple-double. Amazing. And going to Michael Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe, there is no more debate. I don't think there should ever be a debate ever again about who is the greatest basketball player ever. I think after yesterday, you end any topic of that. You just cherish Michael, you cherish LeBron, and knowing those guys are going to look up to Kobe, even though Michael's older, you know dang well he's going to ask Kobe for help in his lifetime when it comes time to needing anything. And so will LeBron. I don't know if you guys saw the video on Twitter of LeBron getting off the plane. I mean, the guy was just, there's no way to describe what he was feeling. And I think that there is no more debate, period. I will never ever get into an argument or debate again anywhere about who is the greatest player to play the game, because it's just, there's no point in it.
Yeah, you can never look the same way again at debating whether or not LeBron was a better player than Kobe on the same scale anymore, because now with what has happened now with LeBron passing Kobe and with this tragedy, terrible tragedy happening, you have to look at it in a respectful manner now, just that both of them respected each other and both of them had been transcendent talents in the game of basketball. Just one final question for the both of you. Now, with what's happened, how different will the sports world be without Kobe?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that quite yet. It's gonna be really freaking different. I can answer that. I mean, it's weird. It's again, it's just Kobe Bryant's dead. I can't process that, and I don't know how to answer that.
Not even in the sports world sense, but how many kids shot a paper ball into a basket and shouted or said Kobe, and never played a single sport in their life or never paid attention to it, but that was the name you said. Not even in the sports sense, but that was just it. And in the sports world, you know, I don't think it'll ever be the same.
You can't quantify just how much yet this loss will mean in the long-term run. But I will say that the LA sports landscape is forever changed now that LA has lost their golden child in Kobe Bryant. The LA basketball world will never be the same again, considering Kobe Bryant was probably the best player that ever put on a Los Angeles Lakers uniform.
Yep. I think this year, if the Lakers win it, no one will ever disagree with that.
No, I think everybody will.
I mean, everyone would be okay with that. And I know there's people that don't like the Lakers because LeBron plays on them because, you know, it's LeBron James. Everyone criticizes the guy, but Lakers win it this year. Who cares? You know?
It would be nice to see the Los Angeles Lakers in the finals, definitely, for sure. SBTV Sports send their condolences to the Bryant family and to all those who are affected by this tragedy. We'll step aside for our first commercial break, and when we return, we'll preview Super Bowl 54 and discuss what the Packers' possibilities are for free agency this offseason. This is the Sports Hub on SBTV.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Welcome back to the Sports Hub. We are only 6 days away from Super Bowl 54 in Miami between the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are making their third Super Bowl appearance, their first since 1969, while the 49ers are playing in Super Bowl Sunday for the 7th time, with their last appearance coming 7 years ago in Super Bowl 47. Guys, what are each team's strengths and weaknesses, and what's your prediction for who wins the Lombardi Trophy?
So I want to say flat out, I'm incredibly excited for the Super Bowl, right? I don't think we see what we saw last year in a sloppy defensive juggernaut between Los Angeles and New England. We don't get that this year. We're going to see two good defenses, two good offenses go head-to-head. Obviously, we know the 49ers defensive front seven, best in football, maybe the best I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, they are dominant in their front seven. We saw what they did to Green Bay a week ago, or a little bit over a week ago now. We know what that defense is capable of. On the offensive side of the ball for San Francisco, if they can run anywhere near how they ran against Green Bay, I think they won. I mean, I think San Francisco's got to be the favorite in this one. However, when you're playing a guy by the name of Patrick Mahomes, are you ever safe? Kansas City's got the best quarterback in football. They've got the best quarterback for the next decade. In his first Super Bowl appearance, what can he do? He's got the weapons, he's got the offense, but against that San Francisco defense, I'm curious to see if Mahomes can be Mahomes. Now, of course I think it's capable. 2 weeks of prep with Andy Reid as their head coach and the offensive weapons that Kansas City possesses, they have a very, very good shot every week they walk onto the football field with number 15 under center. My prediction personally, I will take San Francisco to win it this year. Whoa, boy, 34-27 by a touchdown.
I'm going to say that Patrick Mahomes is really good.
He is
like
really
you
good.
said.
This is true.
But San Francisco's defense, I think, will be able to handle him. Now, I still think he's going to put up 30 points, but I think San Fran is going to put up more and they're going to win. I think it's going to be close. I think it'll be less than a field goal. I could see like a 38-35 type of game where San Fran gets a late field goal. Patrick Mahomes has a chance to go down and win it. Their defense comes up for that last stop.
Sure.
But like you said, two good offenses, two good defenses. This is going to be a good Super Bowl, hopefully one for the ages because we didn't get one last year. It's interesting because what if Patrick Mahomes would have made it to the Super Bowl last year? I know that overtime debate that he had against the Patriots. It's good to see him here now. I think they would have won it last year, to be completely honest with you. So I think this is his time to shine. I just don't think he gets it done this year because he has to face one of the best defenses we have seen in a really long time, led by Sherman, which, by the way, the guy – I'm not going to go against him because what he's come from, tearing his Achilles, making it all the way back to the Super Bowl, no one believed in him, no agent. He's taken care of himself in the football world. He's done that, and their young gun, Bosa, I mean, just both of those guys leading that team. You got the veteran in Sherman, you got the rookie in Bosa, those guys leading that defense. And the run game on San Fran's side, I mean, we saw it against Green Bay, decimated them. It's going to be interesting. I think we're going to see a good game, but I think San Fran walks away with the Super Bowl.
I think so too, but I think there's a really good possibility. This is more of a spread-out game. So I said 7, you said 3. If this is a 10-point game, I think it's going to swing Kansas City. I think Kansas City wins big, or San Francisco wins narrowly, which is what I think is going to happen. But I believe in Kansas City's offense more than I believe in San Francisco's, for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
Patrick
I would agree with that, but I'll take San Fran's defense over
Agreed.
Kansas City's.
Yeah, I'm with you. But no, to go back to the run game for San Francisco, Raheem Mostert isn't going to run for 220 and 4 touchdowns against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not going to happen. Jimmy Garoppolo probably going to need to throw more than 8 passes. History likes to repeat itself. It won't from the NFC Championship game to the Super Bowl. But yeah, I think we're on the same bandwagon. I will take San Francisco to win, but my fingers are just crossed for a good game.
We need one.
We do.
I think the right teams are playing in the right game, as the Chiefs will be designated the home team for the game. Super Bowl 54 kicks off at 5:30 p.m. on February 2nd. The Green Bay Packers may have finished only 1 game away from reaching the Super Bowl in Matt LaFleur's first season as head coach, but now the focus for the Pack has shifted to who will be in a green and gold uniform for the 2020 season. Notable players set to be free agents include Brian Bulaga, Blake Martinez, Mason Crosby, and Tramon Williams. Guys, who do you see staying in Green Bay, and who do you see potentially leaving?
As much as I'd like to see Blake Martinez return, he's going to be asking upwards of $50 million a year. 50's gone, unfortunately. He had a good start to his career. We'll see what he can do elsewhere. Mason Crosby, I'm expecting to get at least another year or 2 out of him in the green and gold. I think he'll be back. Brian Bulaga, same thing, assuming he doesn't retire. And speaking of retirement, it could be time soon for Tramon Williams. I imagine if the Packers don't re-sign him, he may call it quits. We'll see. I would like to keep all 4 of the guys we mentioned. However, I don't think it's possible. I think the main priority is Bulaga, secondary priority being Crosby, and you figure the other 2 out. So we will see. I think it's going to be active. I forget what the exact number is for Green Bay. I think 15 unrestricted free agents or somewhere around that. So they're going to have a lot of interesting discussions over the course of the next few months. But again, I think Brian Bulaga and Mason Crosby become your top 2 priorities when free agency opens.
I agree. I think those 2 guys, you can't let Crosby go. He's a Green Bay legend. Right. I mean, you got to keep the guy. There's no other way. You can't let him go. I think if you let him go, you create a sense, not hate, but like, I'm trying to think of a word that would be considered hate, but like, I don't want to use that.
You ever hear with a thesaurus before?
Yeah, I have. The brain's not really working today. So, but I think they won't let go of Crosby. I think he'll definitely stay. Bulaga's going to stay too, but Martinez and Williams are both going to be gone. Just the 2 bigger names there, and Martinez, like you said, he's going to ask for too much. Great guy, great player. Just he's going to ask for too much, and I think he's going to go elsewhere. Where he goes, I mean, that's really up to him.
He'll get the paycheck.
He will. He will.
It's up to him. Yeah.
But it's just, I don't think he'll be in the green and gold. Neither will Williams. As mentioned, he's probably going to be close to retirement. Maybe he'll sign like a 1-year deal somewhere just to get some more money in his account. Not that he needs it, but I think that the only 2 are going to be staying are Bulaga and Crosby.
All right, answer me this real quick. What kind of positions then do you think GM Brian Gutekunst will go after in free agency?
Linebackers obviously got to be a concern. Cornerback, maybe tight end, but again we have the draft coming up too. So he'll make a full analysis. Wide receiver would be great. Obviously the Packers have struggled to find a true number 1 or number 2 option. Alan Lazard had a solid year, but we will see as we head into the next season. Gutekunst has done his job in free agency since he's become the GM a few years back, and he'll make the tough decisions that need to be made, and he'll go and try to make up for it in free agency. He'll do his job thoroughly. We'll see.
I honestly think that it's going to be time for the Packers to start looking at a quarterback.
In free agency or in the draft?
It's hard to say because, I mean, you don't want to, like, sacrifice other guys because you still have Rodgers for at least one more year,
right?
Maybe two. So you don't want to, like, go now, but you don't want to be late and miss out on a guy who's, you know, going to be good and help the Packers to continue the level of play that they're at, but you also don't want to, like, sacrifice, you know, your linebacker position. You really want to get that wide receiver number 2 because you need that for Rodgers this year if they want to make another run at a Super Bowl or make a deep run, I guess, in the playoffs. And I think a quarterback would not be a bad idea for the Packers coming up here with Rodgers, you know, nearing the end of his contract and nearing, you know, that retirement age where he's going to slow down, as you've mentioned before. He still has more years to play, but it's going to be that Super Bowl timing, that window. It's down there. I mean, 1 to 2 years maybe, and then it's going to be time to, you know, look past that, and you really got to set up. I mean, is it going to be where it's going to be Favre and Rodgers, and now he's got to be Favre, and this guy that ever comes in is going to be Rodgers? Will it be like that? Will you guys get a quarterback like that, or are you guys going to be struggling for a while like some other teams that we've seen where you really got to bounce around quarterbacks and you don't really know what's going to happen?
They got to go get my look-alike Josh Rosen. Just my thoughts.
You do look like Josh Rosen.
I'm a handsome guy, what can I say?
Yeah, good looking. What a stud. The NFL free agency period begins March 18th. The Packers will have 21 free agents on the list, with 15 of them being unrestricted. We'll take our final commercial break, and when we come back, we'll do a round of buy or sell. This is the Sports Hub on SBTV.
UW-Stevens Point is home.
It's a university where professors know your name and get you involved in research.
They inspire us to realize big dreams.
At UW-Stevens Point, sustainability is what we stand for.
Our beautiful campus encourages exploration, developing new fields, and problem solving for the real world.
It's a great place to launch your career.
UW-Stevens Point is home.
Apply today at uwsp.edu.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
The Media Studies is a program for people who love to tell stories, whether that be in written form, visual, or audio.
Media Studies is exciting because it's always fresh, it's always new.
Media is at the center of everything we do. More and more people are asked to engage with media and use media. Our program really provides students with skills and techniques to be better prepared for that in the future.
We offer courses in media production, both video and audio, nonfiction and fiction, music production, journalism, film studies.
Media Studies is a great way to get hands-on experience in the field that you're looking to do. They teach you the basic concept behind everything, and then they tell you to go do it.
We really pride ourselves on thinking of a wide set of opportunities that we can give our students.
The student organizations are a great asset. We have SPTV, the student television organization, 90 FM, the radio, and The Pointer, our student-run newspaper.
It's a great way for students to get involved, learn skills that they need for class, and meet new people.
Some great facilities where our students can hone their skills.
There's a giant studio in the center of the comm building. I've had quite a few classes in there.
A lot of our classes are very hands-on, they're very interpersonal.
You're getting the skills that will allow you to create your future, and I think that's what makes it a truly amazing experience for students.
There's an incredible range of options for graduates. We've had students go out and become independent contractors, work for radio stations, newspapers, with TV stations.
Everyone is different, and they have their own unique unique style. In all the classes and all the student organizations you get involved in, you have a lot of flexibility to really create your own work and do it in a way that means something to you.
We're excited to see what students are making and what they want to make, and how we can help students get from where they are to where they want to be.
I'm in a video production class that's teaching me how to film documentaries. I'm also in a screenwriting class, and I get to learn how to write movies. So I'm doing all these different cool things, and I love it every day.
Welcome back to the Sports Hub. We'll do some buy or sell for this last part of the show. First one, Ja Morant will win NBA Rookie of the Year this season.
I think he's got to be the front runner. Obviously, what Zion Williamson did in his debut and has been capable of doing since he's come back in the last week is pretty Zion Williamson-esque, isn't it? But right now, he has to be the front runner. I'm going to buy this. I think Ja Morant has shown exactly what we saw at Murray State, what we saw in the tournament, the NCAA tournament against Marquette University last year. Ja Morant is a beast. He's got that Mamba mentality to bring up Kobe Bryant. He's got that killer instinct that is missing from a lot of teams in the NBA. Memphis now has a guy with that killer instinct. I think Ja Morant will win Rookie of the Year. I'm going to buy this.
I'm 100% with you on that one. I'm going to buy it. I think if Zion was in the league for longer, he would have a good argument or debate against him. But Morant's been in there since day one. Zion just had his debut a couple days ago. So I think that it's going to be Morant by a landslide. And if he doesn't get it, NBA's rigged.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll buy it as well. That's 3 buys for our end on Ja Morant as Rookie of the Year. Next one. Eli Manning had a better career in the NFL than his older brother Peyton. Excuse me.
Sal? Peyton Manning has the NFL record with 5 MVP awards. Eli Manning has a total of 0. Enough said.
Yeah. I mean, the guy finished with a 500 record.
117 and 117. Fun fact. Yeah.
Yep. Peyton Manning did not. So I'm going to take the better Manning being Peyton, and I'm going to sell this one.
I will sell that as well. I will say, though, that Eli Manning did lead the Giants to both of those Super Bowl victories, whereas Peyton only led his team to only 1 Super Bowl, as he kind of had a lot of help from Von Miller in Super Bowl 50 for Denver. But, you can't take away from the fact that Peyton changed a lot about how we look at quarterbacks when he came into the league.
One of the GOATs.
Yep. Final one. The NFL will consider changing the method for onside kicks next season.
I like this question. I'm going to sell it. Obviously, we saw the potential for, 4th and 15. You got to throw a pass instead of an onside kick. Which, of course, who was it? Kirk Cousins threw an interception, right?
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, Jackson, in the Pro Bowl on Sunday. So, yeah, I'm going to sell this. I like the idea. I just think it's too tough to implement, so I will sell.
Was Rodgers in the Pro Bowl?
He sat out.
No.
He would have made it over Kirk.
Probably. I mean, I'm not going to.
No, that's a fact.
I know. I know. I was just throwing some shade at you. I'm going to sell this one, too. I think before the NFL gets into the onside kicking scenario, they need to focus on overtime. I think that's the bigger picture here that they need to go after. I don't think this shouldn't happen before the overtime rules change.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's kind of been in the works right now. Nothing's for sure, but I just thought that, it'd be interesting to kind of mention that. I will sell that as well, but I can imagine, though, in the next few seasons, we might see some more and more ideas about how to potentially go about. That's all we have for you on today's episode. I'd like to thank Alex and Jackson for being here on the show today, and a big thank you to our technical staff and all their hard work to make this show possible. Check out our Facebook page at SBTV UWSB Television, and follow our SBTV and SBTV Sports Twitter pages. Lastly, check out the UWSP Athletics page for all things Pointer Sports. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Kobe Bryant. Your legacy will be remembered forever.
Kobe.